Givaldik. So today is Be'etzem should be Pei Gimel. But we're doing Pei Gimel, we're finishing off Pei Gimel, we're doing Pei Dal because we're getting ahead because of Tisha B'Av tomorrow. So we're starting the new parak, Bez Hashem, the parak of Kisei Adam. I just want to fear something from the end of yesterday's blot, where the Chasam Sofer asks a Bordig Kasha. He says we know Klal Yisrael starts the day from the day, and we end the day at night. I'm sorry, the Goyim start the day by day, and then they finish by night. Klal Yisrael starts with the night, and then we do the day. Yeah, good, fine. So for whatever reason it is, and then he says. But in the one place where it comes to what's it called, where it's in by Kachim, there Klal Yisrael does like the Goyim. Let's take it. So he says a whole word, very very machshavadik, that the pshat is that Klal Yisrael is nimshal yoyim, and Olam Hazen, Olam Haba, and Kachim is bebchinas. I just want to say maybe a very pshatavadik word. What does it mean? What is it? What does it mean that the day starts before the? What does it mean that the day starts? The day starts in the day. What does it mean that the day starts at night? What does it mean that by kachim it's not like that? Pshat is pashit. Pshat is that nothing new. Unless you're starting something significant, you don't start the day, right? When it's just a nischaf, something that's just the rest of the day, we're letting it run through. That's not you don't start a day from that, right? The start of the day is when you're starting to do something new. So by the goyim, by the day you do things. At night is just whatever. It's dark. You can't do anything. So mamela tupman garnish. You can't do anything. So you just let the clock run, right? Mashenke by the yid. What does he do, Shtekin Gemara and Brachas? What does a Yid do when he's finished working and can't work anymore? What does he do? He goes into Bismedrish, Ragalikris Kaira, Ragalishna Shaina, and then he davens, and then he goes and eats, and then he lays down. That's what we're living for. That's what he's waiting for. Mainly he had it tzarachim. He took care of his tzarachim during the light hours. That's when he made a little parnasa, right? By the guy, the pshat is his excitement was the day, and then when it came at night, he took care of his tzarachim. But he yitvaket. The Ragel Likras Kaira, Ragel Lishnas Shoina is not a zaytig gezach that he's doing. That's his focus. That's his new thing. That's what he's excited to do. He's finally finished. He's off the clock and right into the Bismedish. So that's where he starts the day. That's how the day. After that, he has to take care of his strachim during the day. Fine. He has the big panasa. By kachim, that's pashit. That it's not like that. Pashit, very, very bibitis. It's not like that. Lamaisi, you don't do any new karbanis at night, and you don't do anything new by night. Everything starts. You're only allowed to bring karbanis by day. So that's what it means. That the day starts. That the day starts in the morning. That's what it means. By definition, it starts by the day, because at night, you're not allowed to bring karbanis. That's what I would like to say. Not any what's called metaphysical cheshbon, but just a very, very, very practical lamaisa outlook. And it's not important to recognize what the chashivas is and what's important and what's not important. That when somebody's kaveitim, somebody's chapsarayin about gemara chveisvas, at the end of the day, it's not the pshat is that he's taking care of his tzarachim, he's grabbing a lunch, or this is his day. This is the real day. This is what he's living for. Everything else was only a nischaf. Everything else was only geshlept. Listen, has got parnasa daf bentan. But the ikir, what is his focus? What the main event is at night when he comes home and he learns something. Okay, so Mishnah. So we're starting the next mitzvah. The next mitzvah is Kisei Adam. Now Kisei Adam, why does Kisei Adam come after Oisav Es Benoi and not before Oisav Es Benoi? Right? Right? So I mean, it's funny how you could Oisav Es Benoi is interesting because you shechted one already and now you're shechting a second one. So l'chura Kisei Adam comes first after the shechita of the first one. So Kisei Adam should come before Oisav Es Benoi, not after Oisav Es Benoi. However, we already said over that Kisei Adam Oisves Benoi was hooked into the Mishnah before because it was mentioned in the Mishnah of Amakasha. So we brought in Oisves Benoi before Kisei Adam. There is a vart from the Bahag, which is very important, which is maybe you say it's the Geshaila in the whole mitzvah of Kisei Adam, where the Bahag says that the bracha of Kisei Adam we're going to say after. We'll say you say after the Kisei. You don't do it over Las Yosin. You don't do it before the Kisei Adam. So why not? Zok the Bahag, because the pshat is that Kisei Adam is connected to Shechita, and so therefore you can't be mafsik between the Shechita and the Kisei Adam. Some kind of in the middle of a mitzvah you don't make a bracha, and since it's connected, you can't be mafsik, and you can't do it before the shechita because that'll be over the over. So memela you do it after the kisei adam. That's the Rosh argues, and he says that avada we do it after before the kisei adam. It's a separate mitzvah, gets its own bracha. It's not what exactly the suffix is about what this kisei adam what kisei adam is. If it's a chelik of the mitzvah or not a chelik of the mitzvah is torachin. What does it mean that the kisei adam is a chelik of the mitzvah of shechita? Just one little svara that we could say we mazba that that's the chefza of shchita is taking out dam hu nefesh, and you're taking out the nefesh by shchita. You're removing the dam from the tzavra behema. That's what you're doing. So maybe if the whole chefza of shchita, that's the tzura of shchita. That's what shchita is. Shchita is removing the dam. So this is all part of removing the dam, and what you're going to do with it. Maybe that's the shaykhis of mitzvahs kisei adam to mitzvah shchita. So the Gemara weiter. Kisei adam noig ba'aretz u'v'chutz la'aretz. Yeah. So Rashi says the reason why we mention it is because we're going to want to say avaloi b'muktashim, which is going to be again in the Mishnah, right? Kisei adam noig ba'aretz u'v'chutz la'aretz. B'fnei abayis lo b'fnei abayis b'chulin avaloi b'muktashim. So Rashi b'chulin avaloi b'muktashim chatas oif v'oilas ha'oif. Right? Why does Rashi say chatas oif and oilas ha'oif? Why are those the cases of Mukdashim that Rashi says? It's Pashut, because Kisei Adam is famously only Negeya. Kisei Adam is famously only Negeya is only you only chayiv by a chay and a oif, and right. So but not by any behemoths. So the only oifos or chayis or oifos that there are karbanis is on chatas oif and oilas oif. Yeah. V'noying b'chaya u'ba'oif b'mezomen u'b'she'ena mezomen. Yeah. B'mezomen u'b'she'ena mezomen. So what does b'mezomen u'b'she'ena mezomen means? Means that it's if it's private, what's called domesticated, right? Domestically grown, right? Now. Yeah. V'noyig b'kvi mimneishu suffix. Kvi you have to do because it's a suffix. It's a suffix chayev and shechta nesu yantiv. But kvi is ein shechta nesu yantiv and shechta ein b'chasen es dame on yantiv. Because why? Because it's a suffix of doing kisui. We'll see what the issa is of kisui. That's not so clear. What's the issa of kisui on yantiv? That is the Mishnah. Now. Why does it mention that it's mizum m'shein mizum, and it only mentions it here and it doesn't mention it anywhere else? So Rashi says because it's agav shiluach hakan. That shiluach hakan is dafka by mizumin. So over here it says eina mizumin. Tais is very bothered by that. So in Oberzain all the other Mishnayos, how come you don't have by Gida Nasha and Kalabasa? Why don't we mention also over there b'mizumin b'she'eina mizumin? So Tosis says a different pshat. He says a gishmak pshat. He says because it says asher yotzud, right? The pasuk says asher yotzud, right? Which is mashma that you went and trapped it, not something. It's domestic, right? From the fact that it says asher yotzud, I would think that you only chayiv by shluch hakan only by asher yotzud. Kamash malam that what? That it's even b'sheinoi yotzud. That's Tosis' pshat in why it's negeya. Why the Mishnah said b'mizumin u b'she'enei mizumin. I would just say maybe a shtickle pshat, not like Rashi, not like Tosfos, but that's that. What's the pshat, Taka? Why did the Torah only have the why did the Torah just say why did the Torah just say Kisei Adam only by oif and chaya and not by behema? What's the place the Balbat Shipshat? Why did the Torah say that by oif and behema and chaya you're gonna do, but you'll do there's a din of Kisei Adam and not by behema? So the practical reason is, a very practical zach. The pshat is that a behema you do locally, you do in your house. So you have already masuda what you're going to do with the dam. You're not going to leave it around. You're not going to leave it just the blood toises. You're not going to leave the blood sitting around on the floor. And the Shem say it's a bezayin of it because it's a nefesh. You're not going to leave it around, right? Mashenkin, a chaya and a oif, which is a wild animal, which is out in the open. Which is out in the wild over there you shecht, right? You trap the tzvi. You right away shecht it off an art, and you leave the blood right there, right? You're not cleaning up your house or kvesos or oif, whatever it is. You trapped it and you shecht it right off an art. So memela over there the Torah said to be mechasa, but avada that's the reason for it. But lemaisa halacha is that you have a chiyuv kisei adam, even if it's been mezumin. But since the obvious reason why the Torah said Kisei Adam is only by Chaya and Oif and not by Behema is dafka is because that's normally not mezumin. So the Mishnah had to read Ois and save it. B'Chaya Oif b'mezumin she'ein mezumin. Yeah. Okay. Zok the Gemara weiter. Zok the Gemara kasha. In Mishnah steht Mekdoshim Loi. Why taka is there no hekti? Why is there no chiv kisei adam by hekti? Shilema mishum de rabzei rodam rabzei rashei chetzarch shitin afal lemata ve'afal lemailom shenemar v'shavach es damai v'chiseyu be'ofor. Right? Afal lenemar. Ela be'afar melamed shashoich tzarich shitin afar lemata v'afar lemailom v'hachal yefsha. Over here, it's not shaykh. So the Gemara is going to discuss why it's not possible to put dirt on the mizbeach before you do the mitzitza of a oilus oif. And memela, that's going to be the Gemara's kasha. But before we get that, we have to discuss this Reb Zera. Reb Zera's halacha. Reb Zera says that a hasher can tzarich sheet enough for the matav for the ma'ila. So this is a very, very, very big, important focus point in mitzvahs kisei adam, and there's a lot of Torah gesagt about this. Lamaisa, what's a negeya? It's negeya. First of all, the most important thing is the machlokes Rashi and Tosfos afanort. That Rashi is not afanort. Rashi is earlier in Daf Lamed Aleph, and Tosfos is over here. The Gemara brought down this Reb Zera already before. The Gemara spoke about Rava that he prepared he sharpened a spear, arrow and be able to shecht, and he was able to shecht he was able to shoot at the bird and do a shchita in the air, right? And the Gemara asked the kasha, a big problem. The Gemara asked the kasha, what do you mean? How's he going to do kisei adam? Teretz says you'll be mechasa afterwards, good, but you have to be mechasa under also. You have to do what's going to be Reb Zera, the tzarich sheichasa lamata and lamayla, right? That's that was the Gemara's kasha. Zok the Gemara, the mazmin le lekule baga. That's Lashon Gemara, something like that, right? Tosfos brings it down over here. The mezamni lekule biksa, right? That he prepares the whole biksa, he prepared the whole valley. Wherever it's possible that the blood that the bird is going to just conk out and come fluttering down with all its blood, he already prepared it all, and then it'll go over and be mechas on top. That is the Gemara. Zak Rashi. What does it mean? Mizamni l'kuli biksa. Zak Rashi. You have to do two things. Either you have to soften you have to soften the dirt, or right. The Gemara asked the kasha. The Gemara asked the kasha. Right. The Gemara asked the kasha that what the Gemara asked the kasha. The Gemara asked the kasha. How's Rava doing it? Is going to be a problem. You can't do Kisei Adam. And the Gemara, right? So the Gemara could have just said the Teretz says we're talking about in a place where there was soft dirt. No, the Gemara doesn't say that. The Gemara says the mizamnim lekuli biksa, right? So Rashi says from there that you have to make sure that it's soft, and even once it's soft, you have to be mazmin bepeh. That's what Rashi says. That says very gishmak the Lashon Gemara the mizamnim lekuli biksa, right? Tosfos over here argues. Tosfos says that the din of shoichet tzarich sheitin lemata v'yitin lemayla. Lemayla, you have to put lemaisa by yourself, be a daim. Lemata, zok Tosfos, no. Lemata, you don't have to. You just have to make sure it's there, but you don't have to put it there. You don't have to put it there. You state in Gemara the mizamni lekuli biksa. What does it mean the mizamni lekuli biksa? So Tosfos that it was just b'makom shaya karka kasha. So what do you? So what do you mean? What does that mean? What? What'd you say? Yeah, see, it needed to be soft. So why didn't the Gemara just say that the dirt was soft? What's the? Tosfos says, "Haynu b'makom shaya karka kasha yechayfer." So from Pshat and Tosfos, we could say like this. Tosfos says, "Haynu b'makom shahaya karka kasha." Yeah, so it's a little bit mashma in Tosfos like this. The Tosfos understood that we could say that the Gemara's kasha was the Gemara understood that it's not mestaba that you had a whole bika that was in ganzen soft. Good, some is soft, some is not soft, but it's not mestaba that the whole thing is good. And for the Gemara, there was something in the kulei biksa that he went and he made sure that the places where it was hard, he softened. But that was good for the Gemara's kasha that it's not mestaba that some of it was soft. That's how Tosfos will be matchel lashna Gemara. That's what you could say maybe Pshat and Tosfos how Tosfos is going to learn the Gemara over there. But Rashi Avada holds that not like that. Rashi holds that you have to be mizamin because the Torah should have said v'chiseyu offer. It says v'chiseyu be'offer is mashma that I have to do both chalakim. I have to do side the bottom and the top, and if not, it's the chazar in the v'chiseyu be'offer. And since it's the chazar in the v'chiseyu be'offer, somehow being mazmin it helps it out that I'm doing it be'offer. Bipeh, Rashi says. Yeah? Somehow the bipeh helps. That's Rashi. Now, so the Achronim say like this. Here's the Achronim Shtikol Torah from Beis Halevi, that the Rosh concedes the point that it's true you can't make a bracha. Yeah, we discussed the shemuz. I think it's the Rosh, maybe it's the Rosh, but I think it's the Rosh. That the Bahag said that you're not going to make the bracha on Kisei Adam. You're going to make the bracha on Kisei Adam after. You're going to make the bracha of Kisei Adam after. You're going to make the bracha of Kisei Adam after Kisei Adam, right? Why? Because you can't because Kisei Adam is connected to Shechita, and you can't make the bracha in the middle of a mitzvah. Fragin Achroinim. It's always the middle of the Shechita, even like the Rosh, that I'm going to make the bracha before Kisei Adam, but I already started the mitzvah. Why? Because I started the Kisei of Lamata. That's the kasha, yeah? So the Achronim want to say this big shtikol Torah that the machlekes Rashi and Tosfos, if tzarich lazminai bepeh or not tzarich lazminai bepeh, is not just a zayt geshayla how exactly you makayim of a lamata. It's a yisoyz the machlekes in what the mitzvahs of a lamata is of a lamata just a t'nai in the bracha, Or is it another chelik of the mitzvah? Is the mitzvah is that I have to make offer lamata? If the word is I have to do kiso lamata, so that's tzarich lazmina b'peh. That's how Rashi is going to learn. Mashiach Tosis and the Rashi are going to hold that the pshat is that no, that it's only a tanai in the kisei l'mayla. Since it's only a tanai in the kisei l'mayla, so memela it makes sense to make the bracha even before the kisei, even though I did offer lamata. That's the Torah that they want to say. They also want to say a very gishmak. This I think is ganz gishmak. The nusach habracha is lechasais dam be'offer. Yeah, that's the nusach of the bracha. And the Chachamim say, why do we say lachasais dam be'offer? Why does it say that? The teretz is because we want to be mekayim, we want to chaparain this chelik of the mitzvah to mention the chelik of the mitzvah of offer lamata. Yeah. So and they want to say that's why the Rambam is mashbet this lashon. The Rambam's nusach is lechasais dam, not lechasais dam ba'offer. What's the machlekes over here? Machlekes is in gufa. Is the offer lamata the be'offer? That's the offer lamata. Is that a chelik of the mitzvah and memela it belongs in the bracha? Or is it only a tonight that you only mekayim the mitzvah only if you what if there was offer lamata? But Avad it's not a chelik of the mitzvah. Mele Rambam held like Rashi. Rambam held like Tosis that it's not a chelik of the mitzvah, and since it's not a chelik of the mitzvah, you won't make a bracha. How does it stem with us that we make the bracha? It doesn't stem in ganzen. I'm saying it doesn't. Not everybody holds. It doesn't stem in ganzen because we make the bracha l'chassid dam ba'offer and we hold like Tosis. But okay, anyway, maybe we don't hold like Tosis. Okay, good. That's that kinech. There is another shmuz here. We're gonna see, and they want to be tailored in this as well. Another two nukudas. One is that Rashi does mention later on mitzvahs offer lamata, which is mashma. Shtim's very good like Rashi. That Rashi says tzarich lazmina b'peh mitzvahs offer lamata. Rashi over here, all the way down here, Rashi says right before veligure. She'ein roi litain offer lamata mitzvahs offer lamata makeves boy. Mitzvahs offer lamata. Yep, says our lashon. And they also want to say, now I'm remembering, there's a shtickle Torah, I think the Mr. Levi says this also. He says that there's a Tosis that says that there's no such a thing as a lechatchila and a b'diavad if it's not a mitzvah. Right? And the Gemara is going to say that it's only lechatchila. So how does it pass a lechatchila and a b'diavad if it's not a mitzvah? The teretz is that's what it's told in. If it's a mitzvah, if it's a separate mitzvah, then it passes to have a mitzvah. Then it passes to have offer lamata l'chatchila and not b'diavad. Mashiach, if it's not a mitzvah, it doesn't pass to have it doesn't pass to have a l'chatchila and b'diavad. And Tais over here is going to argue with that. So Tais is going to hold that it's possible to have a mitzvah, to have a l'chatchila and b'diavad even if it's not a mitzvah. Okay, and what's negaya, it's also they want to be tailored in the shaila if there's if let's say something was we're going to see that there's sometimes an opportunity to be goyer, meaning you'll scrape it off to do a do-over. So is there a greira for dam lamata? There are those that are tailored in that as well. Okay, so to Gemara weiter. Okay, so anyway, so the Gemara wants to say that the pshat is that the offer lamata. You know why you're doing offer lamata? I'll tell you why. You know why it's mikdashim loy? I'll tell you why. Because you can't do offer lamata. Why can't you do offer lamata? What are you going to do with the dirt that's coming? That's under the sand or on the side of the side of the mizbech? If you're going to put it there and you're going to leave it there and it's forever, come binyan. You're being moisva binyan. Vice versa, it wouldn't be a problem of offer. It would still have a din offer, but even if it's moisel binyan, but lemaisa, but a problem of kol b'ksav. We're not allowed. The mizbeach has its specific dimensions, and you can't change the dimensions. Loy levatli, just leave it there temporarily. Kahavi chatzitza, it's a chatzitza from the mizbeach. It's a chatzitza from the mizbeach. Over here, Rashi's medayik. And Rashi says, "Kahavi chatzitza beidam lemizbeach v'nimtza shalei nimtza domei b'kir hamizbeach." Where do I care about a chatzitza from him to the mizbeach? Only by v'nimtza domei al kir hamizbeach. Over there, there's a problem with a chatzitza. Over there's a problem with chatzitza because I got to do it on the wall. Everything else, I need a mizbeach. I can be zorik on the mizbeach. There's no problem with a chatzitza. But v'nimtza domei b'kir hamizbeach, and Rashi medayik that the pshat is that there's a chsaron of there will be a problem of a chatzitza. So the Marvaita and he the mat lo yefsham. Good. Okay. I can't do aval lamata. Lamayla yefsham levet kisui. Let's chotch do lamayla. Milay Tanya Rabbi Yonis ben Yosef Oimer Shachat Chaya v'Achakach Shachat Beheim. If somebody shechted a Chaya and then afterwards he shechted a Beheim, apart from the Chasis, Beheim v'Achakach Shachat v'Achakach Chaya l'Chasis. Yeah, if he shechted a chaya first and then he shechted a behema, so the behema covered over the dam of the chaya, so maybe it's patim lechasis. Why? Because like he saw a ruach, but behema v'achaya chayiv lechasis. That if he did a behema first, now the chaya is on top, he's chayiv lechasis. Why is chayiv lechasis? I is a dam. I on the bottom is dam behema. The teretz is because b'diavad it's good. Kid Rab Zera, dam Rab Zera, hakol roi lebila. Kol roy lebila in bila makeves boy. Kol shein roy lebila in bila makeves boy. Now what the pshat is that all I need is that it should be roy lebila. Just like by menachas, I need it, even though I don't have to mix it up, but I need it to be in a kli that's the size that it's possible to mix it, right? So all I need is a roy lebila. Mashenkin over here also, all I need is a roy lechasis lamata, but I don't need that it should be lemaisa. I don't have to do the kisa lamata. And over here also, all I need is a roy as by kachim. It's not shaykh to do kisei lamata because I'm going to be because of the problem of the mizbech. The only eitzah is so then you don't have a mitzvah of kisei lamaila as well. Yeah, and maybe Rashi is saying if I stick along this here when Rashi says the mitzvahs kisei lamata. Maybe Rashi is explaining the lumdis. What's the lumdis over here? When do you say roy lebila? When don't you say roy lebila? The question is, when you have two mitzvahs and one mitzvah is going to be ma'akiv the other one, so there you say, I just have a roy lebila. As long as it's roy lebila, one mitzvah is not going to be ma'akiv the other one, right? Over here you have a mitzvahs a bila. Over here you have a mitzvah kisei dam lamata. That's going to make that for that mitzvah to be ma'akiv your mitzvah. It won't be ma'akiv because I'm roy lebila. As long as it's roy lebila. Mashenkin, if it's not a mitzvah, then you won't have this concept of roy lebila bila ma'keves. Okay, so okay, good. So let's every single time we'll go over to the mizbech after we did the mitzitza. We will go and scrape it off, and then we'll do a kisei. What's the problem? Why can't we do that? Yeah, yeah. So now it's very gishmak. Why over here Rashi says v'ligrei me'al mizbech lacha hazah. Why before he spoke about mitzitza and over here he spoke about hazah? The teretz is because when it was chatzitza we had a problem of dafka of the mitzitza, but otherwise we're talking about the hazah as well, right? Not just the mitzitza, right? Yeah. So the Gemara v'lichsei v'ligrei v'lichsei mi loitnan damanites v'shala sakin chayiv lechasois. That what? It says damanites v'shala sakin chayiv lechasois. Alma. That what? What's damanites v'shala sakin? So Rashi says damanites means the blood that spritzed chutz leguma. Now there's a pliya. because we know that you're not allowed to shecht in a guma. What's the pshat in Rashi? What does Rashi say chutz leguma? So the reason Kipshuta, what the pshat in Rashi is the pshat in Rashi of why we're talking about yeah, the shaila is that we had a mishnah earlier that said that it's usher because it looks like you're shechting to avodah zarah, right? So you're not allowed to shecht into a guma. So why over here does Rashi say damanites lemirachik chutz leguma? So why does he say chutz leguma? The reason why he says chutz leguma is because what does it mean nites? What do you mean? It doesn't pour out nicely. It's always a spritz. What does it mean anites? The Torah says it went out of your spot. Good, fine. So now, so what is it? So you're not allowed to shech chutz leguma. So I saw the Mepharshim on the Sifta want to say that the pshat is that the Gemara said if it's dirty, then it's not a problem. If the guma is dirty, so then it's not daimit avodah zarah. But I want to say maybe a massive chiddush. I want to say a massive chiddush. Hashoicha leguma is because it's daimit to doing avodah zarah to whoever it is, right? That's only negeya, maybe, only when you did something that's roi lavi lefnim, right? Lemaisa, here, kisei adam is only negeya either by a chaya or a oif, right? Chayas are not roi lefnim, and oifos are not roi l'shchita, they're only roi l'malika. So memela, it's not negeya, so maybe taka, we come out of some murder chiddush, that by what? That by there's no issa of shechting into a guma by oifos and a chaya. Maybe that would come a chiddush from this Rashi. Okay. Anyway, so what's the problem? Why are we asking? How do we know that you're right? Yeah. So there's two pshatim in the Gemara. Yeah, damanites v'shala sakin. Damanites v'shala sakin chayiv lechasis. So alma de goreru mechsile. So how do you know alma de goreru mechsile? So there's some Rishonim that learn that the Gemara's kash is only from the knife. That the pshat is the knife. I'm clearly going to go take it. I'm obviously not burying it. So mamela, obviously, I'm scraping it off. That is one of the pshatim. Yeah? Yeah. But the question is, yeah. Oh, and there's some Rishonim that say that the raya is from damanites as well. Why? Because by damanites, there's no offer lamata. It's a great raya that what damanites the damanites I have to that have to do a greater for afalamata also. That's machlekes rishonim if I have to do greater for afalamata. Okay. Sagt die Gemara damanites saken chayiv lechasos. Yeah, chayiv lechasos. Alma de garer merci lei hachanami nigra v'nerechsi lei. Let's scrape it off and then we'll be mechasa. So the Gemara ibekachim is be'hachanami. So now the Gemara is going to go and say that the pshat is our Mishnah is talking about kachim bedi kabayis, meaning that it was makdishit. And avada, it's not right to shecht. It's issa meila, and the guy shechted it. So since he shechted it, it's issa meila, and we're going to look at Reb Shimon that the whole shchita shein roy leish mashchita, and since shchita shein roy leish mashchita, so meila what? So you're not going to have the din of Kesoi hadam. Now, there's a big shmooze over here. This is very very to get to be ma'ayin. Again, it doesn't say shchita over here. It doesn't say shchita by kisei adam. It says v'shafach v'chiseh, right? And Tosfos uses that l'maisa legabe Legabi Malika, Taisa says you don't need v'shachat. But for some reason, it'll be negea. A shchita shein ruya leish mashchita would be a problem, even though it says v'shafach. And we're going to see later on in the Mishnah, we're going to see that by Nechem Aker, you don't have a chiyuv of kisei. We have to be mine. We have to revisit the shmuz. What does it need shchita? Does it not need shchita? What's exactly the makar that I would need a shchita by kisei hadam? So the more Zok the Gemara. Good. Fact the Gemara kasha. Okay, good. Fine. Okay. So I can't. We're talking about kachay bedik abayis. And since it's kachay bedik abayis, mamela what I was never I was so and it's shchita shein ruya, and shchita shein ruya is loy shma shchita, right? And mamela there's no chiv kisadam. Fact the Gemara kasha v'lefrikeno. So Rashi learns the kasha that the pshat is I should go be parikit and do kisei adam. Tosis is very bothered by that kasha. Tosis is bothered by, first of all, because Shitas Tosis is that there's no chiyuv to go bring yourself into a mitzvah. So Memela Zok Tosis, Mechatesa, why should we go tell him that I have to go be pyrik and then do a kisei? Right? He's not only by it. Well, Mechatesa, Tema. Minala shetzarach liftaisa l'chayv b'kisei. And then Tosis asks a lamdashik, and then Tosis asks a practical shayla. What are we saying? Avaloi b'mukdashim. Why are we saying loy b'm? We're saying loy b'mukdashim. We're trying to say we're talking about ketcher beli kabayis. If you pyrik, it's not b'mukdashim for Tosis. That's what Tosis is unhappy with. So Tosis I'm ready to get chiddush. So Tosis that v'lefrekinu v'lechsinu doesn't mean lemaisa we should parik and mechasa. The Gemara is saying that since I could be parik, it's a memela. I should have a chi of kisei today because the pshat is right now. Kimish soifa liftaisai. I'll have to catch him. So now, right now, vibes the shchita ruya. That's the shtickle Torah of Taisus. Yeah, Rashi. Lashon of Rashi is perkin of you mutarim b'achil v'hadel l'chsayel l'dam. Yeah. Okay, so the Gemara write, and for the Gemara, be'inan hamad v'arocha. That what I need hamad v'arocha. That the pshat is to be perikit. I have to be able to stand it up and evaluate it. And since this is already dead and is already geshacht and it's not negay hamad v'arocha, so I can't be perikit. Fact the Gemara ukaman ikra meid amar kol hayu b'chlal hamad v'arocha. The Gemara is going to say that it doesn't stem. You can't. Since we need for this pshat, we need two ingredients. We need sai first of all that it needs hamad v'arachas. I can't do pirik, and I have to hold a shchita shein ruya leish shchita. We don't have a mandama that holds both because the Mei is the one that holds that shchita. Remei is talking the one that holds that I need hamad v'aracha, but he doesn't hold shchita shein ruya. And Reb Shimon holds shchita shein ruya, but he doesn't hold hamad v'aracha. Ikir Rabbi Damar Kol Hayu B'Chlal Hamad v'aracha ha shchita shein ruya l'shmo shchita. Ikir Rabbi Damar Kol Hayu B'Chlal Hamad v'aracha ha shchita shein ruya l'shmo shchita. Ikir Reb Shimon Damar shchita shein ruya l'shmo shchita ha Hayu B'Chlal Hamad v'aracha. Yeah, Reb Shimon says that you don't need Hamad v'aracha. So Mamanashach, who are we going like that? We're trying to have this that we have these two. Amar Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi V'nafsal Ali b'Tanoi. The Tana of our Mishnah, the author of our Mishnah is Rabbi, and he Taka holds like this. He holds like Reb Shimon, and like this he holds like Reb Meir. That what b'shchita shein ruya sav like Reb Shimon. That he holds shchita shein ruya l'shma shchita, but v'rocha sav like Reb Meir. V'ba yisayim is like the Gemara na'ib shat kula Reb Shimoni v'shani hacha de'ama krov v'shafach v'chisa v'chisa misha ene mechusa el shvicha v'kisoi shvicha and then right away kisoi yatzazeh shemechusa shvicha pediya v'kisoi. Now, yeah, so like Rashi, it's very geshmak that the Gemara's whole kasha was that I should have to be poidit, and then after that do kiso. So it's very geshmak. The Gemara's drasha of a shafach the kisa that the pshat is that mishein mechusa al shvicha kisa yatzazeh mechusa shvicha p'tiya v'kisa. But like Tais says that the pshat is that I'm not lemaisa going to do the p'tiya. It's just the word is that since it's roya liftos, so mevela now it's a shchita roya, so it's not mechusa p'tiya. What's Tais say? What's the Gemara's kasha, right? I don't remember the answer to that kasha. So the Gemara, Vashta so afi the type of kachim is beach. Mishen mechosel shvicha v'kisoi. Also zeh shemechosel shvicha gereira v'kisoi. Right now, Tosis is bothered by it. And what happened to Damasakin? The Damasakin, right? By Damasakin, we said that it does greater. Zok Tosis loy dummy. Because the hasamim loy hayanit is loy hayitzarch greira. We can't efshe beloy greira. So in other words, somehow we knew to darshan that it's not a specific halacha on every single dam that you need the dam should be in such a case. It has to be. We're talking about a class of dam that's any mechusa mechusa something in the middle. But if you have a class of dam that normally is okay, and over here it's not okay, for somehow we knew not to darshan that. That's a little tarchin. But another thing that we can medayik in Tosis is that Tosis says v'ledami ledam hanites. Right? Says Tosis is bringing Tosis is learning the Gemara's kasha before was from dam hanites, not from dam asakin. Right? So what's the right from dam hanites? Why can't you do kisa? Tosis seems to be learning that we're doing from dam out. The problem is out dam lamaila. I mean dam lamata. Yeah, and even though dam lamata, we said from Tosis that there are those that want to learn the Tosis. The Tosis holds that dam lamata is not a separate mitzvah. Yeah, so you can't stim from this Tosis is not going to stim in Gansen because Tosis is learning it's just a Tanai. If it's just a Tanai, if you learn Tosis by us, that if you hold that it doesn't need mizmini bepetz because it's just a Tanai in the mitzvah, it's not a separate mitzvah. It's not a mitzvah kisadam ba'af or kisadam lamata. Yeah. But right, and that's why you don't need masmina bepeh. But Tosis clearly holds over here that you won't do greira for you will do greira for dam lamata as well. Yeah, so you can't be told with them. Drosha zok tomorrow. Marber vashi amau makro chaya oif ma chaya eni kodesh elo oif ma chaya eni kodesh af oif eni kodesh. Fact tomorrow. Maybe I should darshan fakir. Ma chaya she'en b'minay kodesh af oif she'en b'minay kodesh. That what I should learn out fakert that this is not coming to say it's not coming to exclude kachim. It's coming to exclude all the minay oif that are b'minay kodesh, meaning the term b'nei yoin oitzi term b'nei yoin shem b'minay kodesh that they b'chlal don't have. It's not possible to have kedusha in it. So more like kechaya machaya lechalakta bo. So just like all chayas, so all oifis are included. But what? But it still has to be similar to a chaya. That a chaya is ein b'minay kodesh, and over here is yesh b'minay kodesh. And the Achrayim ask a kasha that it's possible to have. It is possible to have. Kodesh mizbech, but not kodesh bedek habayis. I mean kodesh bedek habayis by chaya. I don't know. There's Torah here. So to more weiter. Amalei Yaakov Minoah Lerava. So who's this Yaakov Minoah Lerava? Yaakov Minoah, Yaakov the Min. Yeah, this is a very very interesting Gemara, and not the least of because Tosis in Megillah says that you're not Geras Minoah. Why are you not Geras Minoah? Zoktosis because if he's taka min, if he's taka a Christian, what? A Christian, yeah, early Christian. So then why are we calling him Yaakov? Yaakov Shem Shem Yaakov. We wouldn't give him his name. We just say Hahumina. Yeah. Azai Zoktosis. So Azai Zoktosis changed the gear. So Yaakov Ratzah something a different lashon. Yeah, that's Tosis. But there's others that say that no, we're talking about a min, and we're talking about a min. Now, Yankiv wants to go and he wants to say like this. He wants to say that there's two Yaakov minos. Why? And he brings a raya. He says because most of the time when a min asks a kasha, he says kasu b'toiraschem, and over here it says kaimalon. When he asked the kasha, he said kaimalon chaya b'chlal behema. Kaimalon is mashma kaimalon, not kaimalcha. Kaimalon. Yeah. Zok what's called it? There's two different people. There's a Yaakov over there who can't be Obviously, we're not. It's a different person. Yeah. I want a Claire to say it like this. Yeah. I want a Claire like this. Why Tosus didn't ask over here? It's the same person. What'll be before he went off the derech? Do we take away his name or not? This din of Shem Rishon Yerkov. Is this Shem Rishon Yerkov on this man that he was in Russia, on this man that he was a tzaddik? He said Kaim Ulan. He holds. He at this point he was still a practicing Jew. He was still under the oath. He was still living at home, and he and he still and Memela he was still Iskal. Do we take away his name or do we not say Shem Rishon Yerkov? What? You hear the shayla? A nice geschmack echap. Then Avada we're talking about the same person. Avada we're talking about the same person, right? Avada we're talking about the same person, but one is before he went off, one after he went off. Once before he went off, that's where Tosis holds that it's impossible that he should after he went off, it's not possible to call him Yaakov Mino. But before he went no problem, we'll call him Yaakov Mino. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Okay. Zog die mal weiter. Amale Yaakov Mino Rove, Kaimon Chai B'chal Be'ema, L'Simonim, Eima Nami, Be'ema B'chal, Chai Aleki, yeah. Yeah, we know that it goes both ways. Chai is b'chal behem and behem is b'chal chaya. So why don't we say that behem is b'chal chaya l'kisa? Amalei alecha makro alo oris tishbechenu kamayim ma mayim, which is a pasuk that says was talking about by pasuk taiva. And over there it says clearly behema behema, and it says alo oris tishbechenu kamayim ma mayim leiboy kisoi afhay nami leiboy kisoi. Ela me'ata, if dam is hookish to mayim, ela me'ata yatvilu boy. Amakra ach mayin ubor mikveh mayim yator hani in midi achrini loy. That you can only make a mikveh out of something that's only from mayim. Ach mayin ubor mikveh mayim. In fact, the more ve'ema hani milu lemute shar mashkin. The yikri mayim avodam the yikri mayim hachanami. The dam will be included. So tomorrow trade me it says mayim ubor mayim. So two drushes. Ve'ema moidi ve'ema idi lemute shar mashkin. Chad lemute zeichlen. Rashi explains that if once it comes down, then somehow you machshir the mayim, mashenka by other shar mashkin. You're not machshir it, so let it come to be mamayit shar ozeichlin. So tomorrow class of miyutik sivi mayim, bar mayim, mikveh mayim, and memela 3 psukim, which is mamayit, and memela dam is not. You can't be table in dam. So tomorrow right from here on in. No, one more shtickle gemara, and then it's pretty agadic. Turn around, but Rashi yotzad. Ain't the Rashi yotzad. How do we know that if, let's say, it was already, it's a nitzoidim v'oimdim, it's mamish, he has it, domestic animals, how do we know? Ki goin avzim v'tarnegoyim Talmud loima tzayid mikol makom. So this is really mashma like Tosis, that the Gemara had it have a meaning to say that nitzoidim v'oimdim me'aleh minayin, and if them zok the Gemara. Of them, so the Gemara a pasuk. Im came out Tamalei Mashi Yatzut Lim the Teri Derchetz. So I just want to say, this is shtickle mashma like Tosis. Yeah. That the Gemara had a havamina that dafke. Is this the same thing? Is Mezuman and Nitzoyin V'Oimdim the same thing?
Mezuman is not Nitzoyin V'Oimdim.
I'm saying, is Nitzoyin V'Oimdim Mezuman? Mezuman, if I go bias, that's the same thing? It's the exact same thing? So we have him first Gemara, not like Rashi. Ashiyatzud, only Allah Ashiyatzud, Nitzad Mele Minayin. Tamalai would say that is a chiddush. Nitzad Mele. Well, so I want to say like this. Rashi and Tosfos are not really arguing. There's really two levels. There's Oif HaGadol B'Bayis, which is something that was completely domesticated, and then there are those that are tzednim, meaning they got stuck. You have ducks over here. They're not mezumin, but they're Oif HaGadol B'Bayis. I mean, they're tzednim. They're not going anywhere. They can't go anywhere, but they're not. You can't call them Oif HaGadol B'Bayis. They're not mezumin. Nobody prepared them there. But once they're there, you're happy to have them. Okay, and they're stuck. They can't get out. Right? So Rashi is addressing, Tosfos is addressing what's the chiddush. The teretz is, why did it say it in every other place? The teretz is because it says Ashiyatzid, and I would think that only Allah Ashiyatzid, right? And Avdem Zok the Torah Tamalei Mitzayid. Now Rashi is addressing why do we use the Lashon Mezumin Sheina Mezumin? Avdem Zok Rashi Agav Shiluch HaKan. But obviously, yeah, okay. Very good. Im came out Tamalei Mashiyatzud. So Im came out Tamalei Mashiyatzud. Lim the Torah derech eretz le'ochel adam basar ela bazmana hazois. They don't eat basar all the time. Only when it's ashiyatzud. Only when it's mizdamin. Person should not be eating meat every single day. And it starts a whole Amud Gemara about lifestyles and what people should eat and wear and how they should conduct themselves. The Torah is talking about when you masava for basar. So tomorrow only only as a te'avin. A te'avin is something when you're interested in eating it. Not you don't eat it because you have to. Eat it only when seklos sachar. You should go buy from a shuk. Don't go buy. What you have is fine. Here's Rabbi Lezman Azai says like this. Somebody who has not so much money, he only has a money. Yikach lefasai litra. He should use for his pot. We'll see about this pot. Yikach lefasai litra yarek. He should take a measurement of vegetables, nothing more than just vegetables. Asara mana. Somebody who's 10 times richer than that, he has asara mana. Yikach lefasai litra dogim. He should take a measurement of fish. Chamisha money. If he has chamisha money, he's already 50 money. Yikach lefasai litra basar. He should first buy basar. Yeah. So Agavorcha Stam Tosfos points out, and a lot point out that over here the dogim is cheaper than basar, right? Over here, dogim is cheaper than basar, and we know Rashi in Pinchas, in Parshas Pinchas, brings down a medrash that a person you deal with a guest, as it goes down, you go cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and over there it's mavur that dogim is more expensive than basar. So which one is it? Yeah. So Tosfos says it depends on the place. Why does it depend on the place? Very simple. Very simple why it depends on the place. Because a place that's a town that lives on the water and has so you could fish, or on the ocean you can fish. So fish is very, very cheap. It's very, very benimtza. You just put it out, throw it on a net, and you get a lot of fish. Mashenkin, a place that doesn't live on the water, forget fish is very, very hard to sustain because you can't because it dies. You can't grow it domestically. So Meyamana, if he has already Meyamana, he should already set his pot every single day. He should set his pot every single day. And everybody else that he's not having a pot every day, Amos. When is he having a pot? So now this is interesting. Marshal. Rashi says v'idach elu acherim she'omru litra dagim v'litra basar. Right? When should they eat it? Yeah. So the way the Marshal understood was that Rashi is saying litra dagim, litra basar, but not litra yerek. Why? Because the people from the yerek people, when are they going to have any yerek? What are they going to eat if they're not going to eat a yerek? That's how the Marshal understood. But I don't understand. Yeah? And Mamela, he asked Marshal's matra, Rashi's pshat, that Avada the Gemara's kasha is not going on the dagim and the basar. The Gemara's kasha is only on the basar. But I think the Lashon HaGemara is mashma that we're asking on the Lashon. Lashon of Rebbe Lezer Azai is Yishaf Soy Kol Loy Kedera B'chol Yom. This is the only thing that's B'chol Yom. Everything else is not B'chol Yom. If everything else is not B'chol Yom, so when is it? It's only Erev Shabbos, Erev Shabbos. And Rashi said over here, Litra Dagim L'Ka Basar. Rashi just is chapped on two, and he did Dagim and Basar, but in Kanami, they're going to have Yerek as well. Zok to my right, Rabbi Yochanan. Abba mimish no Omer Rav. We have to be chayshish for this thing, and we have to be mitzamtzim ourselves like the Divrei Zaken, who's Rebbe Lezer Azai, and that's obviously a play on words because Rebbe Lezer Azai was famously the one that's not the Zaken. He looked like a Zaken, the Divrei Zaken. Rabbi Yechon's name is Abba mimishpachas Abba, who's referring to Rav mimishpachas Briyam Abba. He was from a strong stock, and Mamela he could get away with not eating meat every day. Abel. If he already has one pruta, he should right away run it to the chenveni. Us, we even have to borrow to go get food because make sure we have kerchis to learn Torah. Second, here's a pasuk in Mishlei. Kvashim lilvushecha. So what's kvashim lilvushecha? That you should have migeis kvashim yilmalvushecha. That that the person should dress himself from his own the wool of his own sheep. Umechir sadeh atudim. Well, mechir sadeh atudim. What does that mean? Lo'ilam yimker adam sadeh v'yikach atudim. That a person should sell real estate and buy sheep. And don't go the other way. Don't be silly. Don't sell your sheep and buy real estate. That doesn't make any sense because that's this whole Gemara is going that avada, that sheep and goats, that's the best of all worlds. So Gemara v'di chalav izim. What does it mean v'di chalav izim? Dayay la'adam sheyisparnes michalav gediyim utlayim. In other words, don't shecht the izim. Just milk it, and that's what you shall live off. Lelachmecha lelechem beisecha. It says lelachmecha lelechem beisecha. So we darshan lelachmecha koydmu lelechem beisecha. That the pshat is that his food should be a little bit more. A person's own food should be more lavish than his children's food. Yeah, the Mashal learns it's from the fact that it doesn't say vilechem beisecha. I would say pasha from the fact that the Torah the pasuk separates lach b'chal and lechem beisecha. Why is it different? The Torah says it's different because it's a different size. V'chaim lenarisecha, that this is going to be life for your children. Nachman ten chaim lenarisecha. That what? That give life to your narisecha. How you can do it? Mekalim the Torah derechel imod adam is benoi basav yayin. If you're going to get him all used to luxuries, he's not going to be able to live. So to my right, Rabbi Yochanan, haroitze sheyisasher yasek bebehem madaka. Somebody who wants to be rich, he should be oisik and behemadaka. That's a very, very good parnasa because it has clothing and milk and right, it has everything. She asking b'behemadaka. Toisas akasha I state oisik b'behemadaka in a simon bracha. So Rebbeinu Tam wants to say that the pshat is that it depends if you live b'yishuv or you live in out in the open. If you live in the yishuv, it says ayin hara. But if you live if you live locally, so if you live locally, so then there's an ayin hara from the Behemedaka are not good. I would have said stamazeh. I mean, nowadays, I mean, again, if somebody's going to have Behemedaka, he's going to have to find land to graze them. You can't graze in anywhere, place. It depends where, right? Okay. All right. So she says, what's ashtarois? Shema'asis is balayim because they make a person rich. That's this thing about behemedaka. It's another. Remember, Rabbi Yechon that L'chura has no shaykhs to this Gemara. It's just a Rabbi Yechon about lifestyles. Kasa decharshin. A person should rather drink a kais full of kishuf v'loy kasa defarshim, not warm water. Warm water is not good, either hot or cold. That immediately be kli matchis. That's not going to in a kli matchis. I'm kli cheres, but a kli cheres less than bar is no problem. It's not going to be any kind of medical issue. Uber kli matchis not merely shadi b'tzivi. They didn't throw in any spices. Of shadi b'tzivi less than bar. V'chile shadi b'tzivi not merely tzitzpei. Have a tzitzpei less than bar. If you cooked it up, it's fine. Here's a famous Chazal, famous Gemara. It's a Gemara about Mitzvah. So, if somebody if his father left him a lot of money and he wants to get rid of it, yeah. So why would somebody want to get rid of his money? So Rashi learns that the pshat is that nobody wants to get rid of their money. What we mean to say is it's just a way of saying that if you want to be very, very irresponsible, and who would want to be irresponsible with his money? Who is somebody who never didn't work for it, who didn't work for it, so therefore he doesn't appreciate it. So he should wear a linen clothing, and he should be mishtamish with glass kalim, glass cups. And the Gemara says, Roman linen was something very, very, very fragile. With white glass. Now here is a Tosfos that has a connection to Erev Tisha B'Av, because Tosfos has a kasha that the Gemara says that Mishachar Beis Hamikdash is bottle zugisa chivrisa and zugisa chivrisa and this shira parnada. Shira parnada is some kind of a silk. So Tosfos says that it was loy legami bakla, and then Tosfos says for a bit of time something else, but loy legami bakla aldeina mitzuyi kamei v'zman beis hamikdash. In the zman beis hamikdash, it was much more common. So the Marvi Yiskapoyim v'yeshu imayim. What's Yiskapoyim v'yeshu imayim? Beturi dinafesh pesidayu. So Rashi's goes that working with shvarim, and working with shvarim, the pshat is that it's a big tractor, and a big tractor, if you can have, it's very easy they're going to trample on things, and things aren't going to work out. Tosfos goes slightly different. Betavri, it's people that work with the shvarim. It's the workers of that are on top of the shvarim. So this is a very interesting Gemara. Why did he say Zimni Nomal Mishmei Ravami, Zimni Nomal Mishmei Ravasi? Yeah, what's the word? If they both said it, so why don't you say it from both? Yeah. So maybe the word is, who says this halacha? This is a very interesting rule. So I heard a shtickle Torah that they want to say that the pshat is that Rebbe Avir had a problem because one of them was older, but one of them was his rebbe. So he couldn't say, he didn't know the order. So maybe he says but maybe the whole kasha is stemming on a premise that we have to explore. Who, if two people come up with a chiddush, you have to say that b'shem both. If two people say a chiddush, I can say either one. I'm saying it b'shem Mamre. Maybe I don't have to say it from either one. From also it's mamish negeya. It's mamish negeya. Maybe gula lo'ilam. It's mamish negeya. Mamish erev Tisha B'av. Yeah, I don't know. Zimni Nomal Mishmei D'Avavi, Zimni Nomal Mishmei D'Avasi. Mai dechsiv toiv ish choynenu malva yichalkol dvora b'mishpat. What does it mean that it's good a person who's caring, that he provides his words b'mishpat in the right amount? A person should eat and drink less than he can afford. And he should wear and dress himself. Kafiz means V'yichabed ishtei obanav yosef mimashi yesh loi. And then the fear is very interesting, like a Musa Shmuz. Shehem tluyim boy v'hu tali b'misha amavaya olam. I guess we'll stop here. You want to stop here? Yeah, I guess we should stop here. But I just want to say a few things on this thing. First of all, where's the Yosef Mimashi Yeshlei? Where's he getting Yosef Mimashi Yeshlei? Yeah. So there are those the Marsha says that it's going on that he has to borrow, and that's the Toivish Koina Umalve. The problem is Malve means he should lend. Toivish Malve, right? So there are those that want to say very gishmak. You know why he's going to be? You know that it's all connected. If he's going to be oichel pachas mishi yeshloi, so then he'll be able to provide for Yosef more than his ability, because he's going to take the money from the money that he's kargenzich from his food, and he's gonna compensate for the begadim of his banav ubnei beis. So I just want to say one more knech. I want to say like this: what's this end thing of what's this sphere? So I want to say like this: the Gemara, Rav Asi are teaching the pasuk. Toiv ish chaynen umalve yichalkel devar Toiv ish chaynen umalve is one darga. Yichalkel dvarov and b'mishpat is 3 different levels. The pshat is like this: a person, when it comes to his own food, he's malve. He just lends away. He has extra money. He lends it to other people. Yichalkel devarov is where he does things mamish b'mishpat. I mean, that's where he does that. That's kemishi yeshla yichalkel devarov. Exactly what he has. And then b'mishpat is the third one, where the pshat is why is giving to wife and children extra b'mishpat? That's because that's the oisphere of because shehu. Shein Tluyin Boiv, who told me Misham Avayah, so Mela it's Mishpat. That the Mishpat that's appropriate. That's what I want to say. Okay. Now I just want to laser. I think this is Kedai to see. This is Mamish Kedai.